All right, so we're going to talk about how to operate and hook up the EcoXgear sound systems individually, and also pair them together, and the capabilities that it has to hook up either a wireless microphone or a lapel microphone if you're doing something for a meeting in the community rooms or kid zone. They are pretty handy, but they do have some certain ways to do things. So if you want to look at the top here of one of them, they all look the same essentially, but they have the controls. So over here on the far right hand side is going to be your power button. I have another one directly right next to it, but over here is the power button. It's always going to be on the right side. Couple of them are press and hold in to turn on, so you press it in and hold it until it pops up on the screen. But this one on the left hand side here is going to be the one that you just kind of push in and it goes. This is your Bluetooth connection right here if you're trying to hook up Bluetooth connection, whether it be an external device or your phone or something like that, but that'll work with like a Surface or an iPad, whatever. If you're trying to change to radio, these don't have very good antennas, but you can use a radio, so you can source select with this right here. It can be like an auxiliary cable that's on the side of the machine that you can use. If you have like a CD player hooked up to it, you can use that as well. But these mainly get used just for Bluetooth and aquatic classes. So this is your search keys right here. This is your play key. This is pairing this button right here. It has two squares two squares linked together. That's when you're pairing speaker to speaker. That only runs 30 feet, so just keep that in mind. When you're outside, it's a little hard, especially there's a lot of interference with other phones and stuff. We found that out the hard way. Your master volume, so keep in mind when you increase this volume for the actual sound, you're also increasing the microphone volume if you're running it off a microphone. These can also be used for a fitness class in the gym. If you want to hook up a microphone to that, you can. This button right here, the little light bulb, will dim the screen or brighten the screen. This is your scan button for the radio, AM, FM over here on the left hand side, and then these are all your presets for your radio if you want to use those. So that's the basic function of this for all the buttons on the top. You should find it at one point plugged in, charging on a station, but there's on the right side of the machine there is a power port on the bottom that you can take one of the plugs and just line it up, plug it in, make sure it's pushed in all the way, and then plug it into the wall. And then this is where all your microphone port is, your aux port, and then a USB port if you want to use a USB. On the other side, it looks a little different. Some have doors, one has a pouch, but if you just open up this door, in here should all be like the connections, the auxiliary cable, USB, whatever it is. It's pretty small, so not much stuff is in there. But yeah, so that's like the basic functions. To shut it, you just kind of push it in. It's kind of hard to close, but that's how you close it. And there's a little suitcase luggage kind of carrier right here to extend. You can push this down, and the handle's on the side. So they should last for about 8 hours a piece. So you should be good. If you're running it max volume, it might run a little less, but mostly it should work fairly well for a decent amount of time. So what I have here, I have a 3/8 inch auxiliary cable for a microphone cable, and then I have two of those. I have an auxiliary cable, my phone, which is a external device. You can hook up Bluetooth and music from that, whether it be Pandora or Spotify. And then I also have a receiver. Keep in mind when you're using receivers, if you're trying to hook up a Shure microphone to an Audio-Technica microphone or receiver, it won't work. It has to be Audio-Technica to Audio-Technica and Shure to Shure. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. As it stands now, these are our old ones from our studios. We got Shure microphones in there. Eventually we'll change over to all Shure microphone stuff, but right now we have Audio-Technica. We also have a headset that we can hook up, whether it be for a fitness class or such. We can use that on this. That'll connect UHF through this. And then also we have a lapel microphone that we can hook up as well. But we'll get into that later. So what we'll do is we'll kind of hook this up, and I'll show you how to hook up the speakers together and then also the microphone. But yeah.